Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The trade deadline is here. We had a couple big moves. Did your team survive? Wow. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Feisty episode. Did your team survive? Are they selling? Are you buying? How about Wrigley? Let's have a summer. And coming live from Michael Rubin's mansion.
Yeah.
Trevor Plouffe, how are you?
Michael Rubin and I are friends.
It's true.
There's no doubt about that. Yes, we've met each other, exchanged pleasantries. Yeah. I'm not at his mansion, though.
Oh, my bad.
No. Yeah. Things are great here. I'm excited to talk some ball. Like, it's coming down to it. The headline says it right here. Trade deadline is tomorrow. Things are getting nuts. All the teams that are buying players are losing. That's hilarious to me. Like, all the teams that are going all in are losing games right before the trade deadline. Do you think they want to say, hey, can we just do that again? Let's not do that trade. We want to sell now.
Crazy,
there's some funny stuff going on, but I love it, man. This is one of the funner parts of the season. I think it goes opening day. It's like a Cron pod. Opening day is great. And then it's the trade deadline, which is, second best. And then the best is September, October, all that stuff.
Trev, I mean, it's so funny. Hunter Renfroe doesn't run into one last night, and I think we're destroying the Angels, like all episode. But he does, and you get to play another day. It's a sick sport. We did one of our most emotional episodes of Talking Yanks last night, and just hearing myself say that, I wanted to punch myself. But no, if they won last night, we would have been like, Yanks are back, Judge is back, like, let's go. Instead, they lost, and it's like, this organization is a joke. How do they not have lefties? And it's that time of year, Big Daddy. So make sure you get your tickets from SeatGeek. Go see your team. Today could be the last day to see your favorite player. If you're a Rockies fan and you love CJ Cron and Randal Grichuk, it's their last time playing in that Rocky purple and black, man. God, I'm getting chewed up thinking about it. What?
What do you mean? Why would they still be playing in that? What are you talking about?
It was their last time playing in it. They're done.
When?
They're out.
Yesterday.
Yeah, you can't see them anymore in purple. You can't.
So go to SeatGeek, code TALKIN. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. $20 off your first purchase. Download the app. Use code TALKIN. $20 off. Go to a game. Go see your Randal Grichuk or CJ Cron for the last time or the first time out in Anaslime. Trev, like we talked about beforehand, I think we're finding something that coming up on the deadline, these episodes are different because there's just different stuff to cover in baseball. So we're diving into the trades. We are a Cron pod. The first one on the list, your guy, Lance Lynn, and my guy, Joe Kelly, get traded to the Dodgers. How about that? Trace Thompson goes back to the White Sox, which is tough. And then a couple prospects, I think Nastrini, if I'm saying that right, I think he's kind of the prospect in the deal. But I thought this was funny, Trev, because this was another starting pitcher, reliever, rental tag team package, and that's what we saw with Giolito and Lopez.
Yeah, and again, to a team that loses the series. But, I think what the Dodgers have to do is this is not it for them. They need more pitching. Like, a lot of the starters have been off, and the bullpen just hasn't been good. So I think there's more in the Dodgers, and we'll see either today or tomorrow. But getting Lance Lynn is a nice depth piece for a rotation that's been riddled with injuries, some underperformances from the young guys, some bright spots, but a lot of inconsistency, if you will. And then the bullpen has been something that they needed to shore up the whole time. Kelly comes in. He gets our buddy Benson to strike out looking on a nasty pitch. So he's a guy you can kind of like say, great. He's going to help the pen. You know that he can go on runs back there and really shorten up games for you. He has the stuff, but I expect the Dodgers. Like, this is a first step for me. Like, this can't be the last step for them. Lance Lynn he's been as inconsistent as they come this year. So I see him more as an innings eater type guy, back of the rotation depth piece type guy, where I think they're going to need to go out and maybe swap one of these young guys who's been kind of inconsistent for like a more proven veteran pitcher, a la like a Verlander. Like, they got to do something.
Yeah, I think we were wondering what the Dodgers were going to be up to. They add Lance Lynn, and hey, there's some stuff you like. His K rate is higher than it's ever been, and this is a guy that's this guy's had an incredible major league career. This guy's thrown almost 2,000 innings, to the tune of a 3.71. Like, Lance Lynn is no joke. Like, I know his Cy Young years almost snuck up on us as baseball fans because we didn't necessarily have him labeled as that guy. He finished top 6 3 straight years, 5th, 6th, and 3rd. That the rumors we heard, remember there was a Rays rumor. We like half talked about it, that the Rays were in on Lance Lynn. If the teams that are in on you are the Rays and the Dodgers, there's something in the tank. I think you're right. I don't know what it means playoff-wise for the Dodgers, and that's where their mind has to be. Because Lance Lynn has also been one of the worst pitchers in baseball this year. He's given up the most hits. He's given up the most earned runs. He's given up the most home runs. So, like, I don't know what they can tap into. I'm not going to bet against the Dodgers. But at the same time, like, Lance Lynn could come over and not be a significant piece. It's kind of what you alluded to. Like, what is next?
Yeah, maybe it's as simple as getting guys healthy. I think a lot of teams think that way. Like, hey, let's just get our guys healthy. We like them. And sure, like right now, who's it? Kershaw, obviously Dustin May, Bueller's. I see him throwing on his Instagram all the time. Right. There's a lot of guys there that, that are on the injured list. And then you have Bobby Miller, who he gave up 3 runs in the first inning, but then settled down in this start this weekend. Like, I think that he could be a guy down the stretch for them for sure. I don't know, man. It's more than ever. It seems like they really need to make a move. Usually we're sitting here being like, the Dodgers could do this, that. And maybe this in years past, the Lynn and Kelly thing would be enough for them. But I just think that this year more than ever, they've been tested in their pitching depth. And in my opinion, it would behoove them to really go after someone like a Verlander. Who else is out there? We're talking Lorenzen. We're talking Erod. Right. The Padres, they're not selling. They just swept the Rangers.
No need.
I don't. So Snell is not going anywhere. It doesn't look like Marcus Stroman is going anywhere. So there's Flaherty out there. They missed on Giolito. They got to do something, man. The Dodgers don't sit pat like this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself a mini pat on the back because jokingly about Joe Kelly all year, I have said he's gonna find himself pitching in a big inning of a playoff game because that just seemingly happens to Joe Kelly. And man, there's almost, we get player fatigue sometimes. Like, if your team called up Joe Kelly yesterday and you saw his stuff, you'd be like, whoa, this guy's a sicko. Like, the stuff that Joe Kelly has is gross. It's just usually a factor of if he can locate it or not. And it seems like every October he finds a way to locate it. Like, the stuff ends up playing that I like. I don't want to say I like the ad of him more than Lance Lynn, but I don't know, man. I've just seen Joe Kelly in the 6th inning of a playoff game, and like, he's gonna throw gross stuff. And like we talked about with bullpens, you can't. Every team is trying to add a Joe Kelly right now. Literally every team, and we'll get there with Jordan Hicks. But I don't know. You think JV's happening, huh?
Here's what the Dodgers can do. Like I said before, they can say, let's wait and let's make sure everyone's healthy. Then you have Gonsolin, you have Urias, you have Bobby Miller, and you have Clayton Kershaw, which, look, that's for most teams, I would say they'd be happy to go in with that, more than happy to go in with that. As I'm saying it out loud, it sounds to me like, dang, they could just do that. But knowing the way that they operate, I feel like there's still something, whether that's another depth piece like a Flaherty. I hate calling him a depth piece. I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't. But I don't think he's a front of the line type starter right now. I think that's okay to say.
But no, I guess if they traded for Flaherty tomorrow and their deadline, the reunion Dodgers are funny. They brought back Kike. They're bringing Joe Kelly back. That's a funny storyline. But if they had Lance Lynn and Jack Flaherty, that's a solid deadline, man. I mean, those are two MLB starters, and I would bet one of them clicks.
I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, is like the depth has been tested enough this year where I feel like they need to bring in some reinforcements for it. But again, like, is Walker Buehler coming back? Like, is he going to be here at the end of September? And then all of a sudden, he's not going to throw 7-8 innings when he comes back, but like, is Walker Buehler coming back into some sort of like piggyback role, opener role, like fucking reliever type role? Like, what? I love the deadline, bro.
Yeesh.
There's so many questions.
Yeesh. And Trev, the crazy part is so many of them aren't answered yet. Like, I'm obviously talking from a place of bias, but dude, if my Yanks stand pat, make a trade to buy or make a trade to sell, I mean, the amount of fire that builds either way is crazy. So, very interested to see the Walker Buehler part of it. Our Moxie King, our Yeesh guy. And yeah, I think you're right. I don't think the Dodgers are done. Like, if you're doing this, you might as well do a little more. And the question is, are they going to figure it out for a Justin Verlander, who, remember the old Los Angeles rumors with him? Like, that's very much in play. Or could it be like a Jack Flaherty, and you're more so, you view him and Lance Lynn as lottery tickets, and one of them clicks with the Dodgers coaching staff? I don't know.
I just Googled Walker Buehler, and again, I've been watching his Instagram. He's throwing off a mound, doing all these things. He still says September 1st is his date. Some people are saying that's aggressive.
Right.
Walker Buehler doesn't care what people say.
No.
So, dude, if this guy comes, I don't know, man. It changes everything if he's in the equation too.
Speaking of, Max Scherzer gets traded to the Texas Rangers. The Max Scherzer trade is brought to you by FitBod. Me and Trev have a big event coming up. First week of December. No joke. Gotta tighten it up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Poppy,
we got to get it fucking
like,
locked.
Vamo, 3 months to go, and FitBod is going to help me get to where I want to be. It gives you a personalized... Help us. You're in then.
I'm in. I mean, did I start this company? Because that's...
Should we get some matching bathing suits?
FitBod.
Should we get some matching bathing suits or something? Personalized workout plans for you in your fitness levels and goals. Workouts that improve as you do. FitBod's powerful technology understands your strength and training ability, studies your past workouts, and adapts your available gym equipment, and keeps your gym sessions fresh and fun by mixing up your workouts. A lot of people that comment on my body in the comments.
Yes.
The problem is I don't mix it up enough. I've been doing the same workout for 10 years. Like, I work.
Okay, you need to mix it up.
I need to mix it up, and that's why I'm getting my FitBod on, and I'm crushing my end of summer goals. And my goodness, fitbod.me/talkin, fitbod.me/talkin, 20% off your subscription, or try the app for free at fitbod.me/talkin. Check out the link, give it a shot, go get yourself a Max Scherzer. Trev, your Rangers. The Talkin' Baseball fans have seen you go through the ringer with this team, and it's the best time ever to be a Rangers fan.
Well, I mean, yes, because they're doing. This is a Texas Hold'em. You ever heard of it?
Sure
It's a
have.
poker game. Do you know what this means?
All in.
I mean, dude, they're doing everything they have to do
Doyle
to win
Brunson.
this year. The 10-2. R.I.P. Doyle Brunson,
Yeah.
right? They're doing everything they need to do. Look, I mean, I think Rangers fans were stoked at the beginning of the year. They were stoked last year. I mean, they've been forming this roster now for a couple of years. And Nathan Eovaldi,
right,
big part of it. He's hurt now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jacob deGrom, hurt. So it's sad with those two guys, but you have a front office saying, not saying like, dang, like we tried. What we just got to go with what we got. No, these guys are like, no, we're going to go get Max Scherzer, who's been, up and down this year, but you feel like you trust him. Like this guy obviously has a track record, first ballot Hall of Famer. And then not only that, but then you bring in freaking Jordan Montgomery, Stratton, like you bring in 2 front of the line starters because you lost 2 front of the line starters. This is how you want your front offices to operate. And they, like I said, they're just pushing all their chips into the middle of the table saying, let's do this. Like we have the team to go do this. We've already made adjustments to the bullpen before this. Like they understand. I think having Chris Young there makes them understand the importance of having pitching depth during the stretch run, because it's a long season and some guys are gonna. I think the importance of having depth, like real, like quality depth, I guess is what we should call it during this time, is some guys are going to be tired at the end of the year. And then some guys are going to get hot at the end of the year. And you just want to have enough to choose from where you can find that right mixture. And it might freaking change from the beginning of September to the end of September, or maybe even one playoff series to the next. But as long as you have enough guys that are quality that can get into the zone during the playoffs and during the stretch run, and then you can pick and choose from them, I think that is it's so key to have that. And Chris Young, obviously being a former pitcher, I think he understands that. Like the offense is going to be what the offense is going to be. Clearly, sometimes you can ride a guy offensively, but it's more of a cohesive unit. But when you get into the stretch run and in the playoffs for pitchers, dude, when it comes down to it in the playoffs, you might run 2 or 3 bullpen guys, and those are your guys. That's it. Like we're not. The rest of you guys, love you. If we're losing the game, you're going to come in. But if we have the lead at all or a tie game, these are our guys. I think he gets that. So they're stocking up quality depth pieces to the bullpen, and then obviously fortifying the rotation where they've had a bunch of injuries. I mean, they're doing what they got to do, Poppy.
Starting pitchers employed by the Texas Rangers: Max Scherzer, Martin Perez, John Gray, Andrew Heaney, Jordan Montgomery, right-handed Dane Dunning, Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Jake Odorizzi. Arthroscopic shoulder surgery this year, but I think it's important to note those are 9 guys that have had like at least a good MLB season at some point, or have been major league starting pitchers for outside of Dunning, over like 5 years. Like that's 9 guys in their rotation, and I don't know. Maybe that should be eye-opening for whatever favorite team you enjoy. If you're thinking about your team's depth, them adding, those 2 guys, and I think the timeline is important here too. Like for all the baseball sickos that live it live, whether it's on Twitter or wherever you get your info and your updates, we get the Heyman, your boy. We get the Heyman update that it's like Max Scherzer trade is done. Was it Heyman?
He was on a lot of this.
Okay, it was Scherzer.
Don't know exactly which
Scherzer trade was done, but he hadn't signed off on it yet. So we sat in like 2 hours of limbo, and then there was a little bit of like Scherzer might say no, like blah blah blah. Scherzer goes through. I'd say hour and a half after that, you find out about Jordan Montgomery. Uncle Stevie, we need to talk about him because some of the parallels here, Trevor. Something I talked about on Wake and Jake, the Mets, if Steve Cohen is your owner, your advantage is the money. And that doesn't necessarily have to be just paying free agents. It could be trading away Max Scherzer. And I think he's going to end up eating like 36 mil or something. Or what did the number land at? It's something. It's a lot of money.
I think they sent 22.5 million over.
It's pretty wild. And out of that, they get a better prospect. So they get Ronald Acuna Jr.'s baby bro, Luis Angel. Am I saying that right?
I haven't checked out a broadcast of his games, but he's Ronald Acuna's baby bro. He's got like 40 swipes in the minor leagues this year. He's an infielder that they basically paid the Texas Rangers a chunk of Max Scherzer to get a legitimate prospect. And hey, maybe for the Mets in a couple years, it's genius. I love if your owner doesn't mind spending money that way, awesome. But at the same time, man, if you're the Texas Rangers, the final parallel that Mets fans turn off your ears right now, the Mets had an amazing season last year, right? They won the NL East all year except the last week of the season. If you remember, they kind of didn't push their chips in last year, Trev. They didn't Doyle Brunson. They added Vogel back. They added Darren Ruff. Like, they tried to increase around the edges, but they didn't do the all-in move. And I think it's kind of, for some of the Mets fans I follow on Twitter, it was kind of ironic that they were like, hey, love what Texas is doing. Wish we did this last year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I don't want to blow this guy's spot up, but I'm vacationing somewhere in, I don't know, I'm in Montauk, okay? And this is a true story, okay? I'm not making this shit up.
Okay.
I'm standing in line waiting to, like, check in for breakfast. And this older gentleman, 50s?
Okay.
He starts going like this to me, like looks at me, smiles, and gives me like this. Like the "we're not worthy" thing. I'm like, bro, like let's just rein it in a little bit. But
yeah.
How are you? We start talking a little bit of ball.
Did Liv see?
Yeah, I mean,
let's go.
Yeah, it's good for me. Nice points for me. Start talking ball. He's a Mets fan.
Sure.
So we start talking about, or no, he's a Yankees fan. He's a Yankees fan. So we start talking about your guys' team, and then we start talking about the game that I went to. I said, yeah, it was Mets versus Yankees. Apparently, one of his clients is Steve Cohen. Don't want to blow this guy's spot up, but what he says to me about Steve is, we start talking about the trades. I'm like, yeah, it's interesting, man. Like, looks like the Mets are selling, and it's Steve Cohen promises a World Series in 3 to 5 years, and it seems like kind of weird to me. Like, I didn't think they were going to blow it up like this. I thought that they would try to do something different. He goes, it doesn't surprise me. He goes, this is the way that Steve does business. Like, if he thinks something is not working, he's not afraid to just like change course and do something different. So to me, if you look at the situation, they bring in this pitching staff of Verlander and Scherzer and Senga's been great and he's under contract. But if you look at Scherzer and Verlander, they're getting up there in age, obviously. Not saying they can't be productive, but it looks to me like, especially if they end up dealing Verlander, which I really feel like is going to happen, I think what he's saying is, you know what? We made a mistake. Like, this didn't work out for us. So let's go back to the drawing board. And you mentioned it already. What do the Mets have? Well, I mean, every team has owners that can spend money.
Right.
Dirty little secret.
Right.
But Steve Cohen's like, he's actually doing it. And what you can look for as a Mets fan is, sure, you're punting on this season. You are. There's no way around it. Team didn't perform well. Ask Mark Canha about that. The next year's free agent class of pitching features some pretty good guys. A lot of these guys that are getting traded around the league right now are free agents next year. And a guy like Julio Urias. So, I think there maybe is a wish and a thought by Steve in the front office say, hey, let's go get younger. Let's just go sign these guys, get younger guys, and do that. So that could be where the head's at.
The next moves for the Mets are very interesting. At the rest of this deadline, and I think, if you're a Mets fan and they, the day they traded Scherzer, they got blown out by the Nats like in the first inning, and it was, vibes are obviously not high. I'm interested to see how hard they sell because, if they're going to go for it next year, Justin Verlander has been really good of late. And that's a guy you might want on your team next year. So if they don't get the right trade, they might just hold on to him. Because I think what you're saying, Trev, and I believe in it too, like next free agency, we're going to be talking about the Mets a whole lot. Like they're going to be in the mix. And I hope like Uncle Stevie kind of becomes a legend because basically I think we're assuming like he admitted defeat, which some of us aren't great at. I've talked about a couple times. Like if you're in a front office, you only get so many chances at this to be like, we screwed up, it didn't happen. A, you got to be bad. B, you have to admit it. And they admitted it. So I'm interested to see what the next steps are. Are they going to win free agency again? Because if you win free agency again and then you lose on the field, I mean, heads will roll. Like you have to.
Well, I think it. Yeah, I mean, you're a new owner coming into a business. I think there are layers to a major league organization. If you go out and spend in free agency the way they've spent, and you don't have like a good enough supporting cast or like depth in your minor leagues, like then you start to think, well, shit, we need to start talking about the development of our players, and that's a whole different thing to tackle. Getting minor league coaches, a minor league system that you think works, a scouting department that you like. I still believe like they don't have a GM or they don't have a baseball ops guy there, right? Something like that. That's a whole nother thing to tackle. Like I don't know how far along we are in the Steve Cohen era, like how deep he's gone into the organization. And obviously I'm sure he's done some due diligence on it, but to restructure that is a complete undertaking and something that, I'm sure they'll work on eventually. I can't imagine them focusing on that as well as what they're doing at the big league roster. It's crazy.
And we need to go back to Texas. We'll see what else the Mets do as they unfold this whole thing. Jordan Montgomery is not a bonus piece. Trev, you can call me out if there's any bias here because Monty has his heartstrings on a lot of Yankee fans. He's an innocent kid that came up 2017, the fun Yankee year, the upstart Yankees, the who are these guys?
One of the first like real surprises of that
season.
Like
wasn't a big prospect like on everyone. The
wowed everyone in spring.
29 starts as a rookie, 3.88 for the New York Yankees. That's how you get heartstrings. And he's been really good. He's a career 3.77 ERA. Over the past 3 years, he has been better than our guy Jack Flaherty. And I think it's funny because even Smoltzy on the Saturday broadcast, he was hyping our guy Jack up. I was like, let's go, John Smoltz. But at the same time, I was like, hey, like I know Gumby, Jordan Montgomery doesn't wear the flashy pregame outfits, and maybe he's not as sexy as Jack Flaherty, but this is a guy, man, and he might get like if Jordan Montgomery goes over to Texas and has a good, 9 starts with the team. You're looking at, I don't know, close to $100 million pitcher. This guy's a big lefty who's only been successful at the major league level.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. If you go out and, like you said, continue to have a good year like he's had, your career ERA is going to be somewhere in like the 3.6s, 3.5s. Yeah, you're going to demand a big contract. That's a $20 million a year pitcher, probably starting point. And then you just how many years you rack up from there. So yes,
now he can't have a qualifying offer attached to him. Good for you, Monty.
Yeah,
he cannot.
Yeah,
you're traded during the year. You're ineligible.
So there he is. That's right. Yeah, no, look, this is again, Texas is doing all the right things at their big league level right now to put themselves in a position to win the division, have a deep playoff run. The problem is also that the Astros are just coming. Like,
yeah,
the Astros get Verlander. Like, there's some talks about them being, in on that. Like, we talk about all the time them being relentless because they are. You just sent me Alex Bregman's Instagram post about his son having a Western themed birthday, and I love it.
I did send you that.
He's a good dad. I like good dads. I like that.
Text Bregman.
I'm going to. I will, just from, hey,
yeah,
like you had a great time at your son's birthday party. What's up, bro?
Tell him where you are. Like, kind of like half twist it. Be like, hey, glad you're sweating it out in Houston.
I just celebrated my son's birthday.
Do your sons have the same birthday?
Well, when was that post? My son's birthday is July 29th. Just had it.
We're going to
Shout
have
out
to
Teddy.
double check that. Happy birthday, Ted. 9?
8 years old.
Woo! High finish.
He is something else. He thinks he's so freaking smart, man. He is a smart kid. He thinks he's smarter than me already, which maybe he's smarter than you, not me yet.
Yeah. Where's he get that confidence from? It deserves to be said, we're a baseball show. Chris Stratton was also in the Jordan Montgomery deal. And I mean, kind of a case of every team would love to add a Chris Stratton this time of year. Like the numbers don't blow you away, but this is a guy that's pitched in 280 Major League Baseball games. Like, you need innings to get through the season. And Chris Stratton comes over with Monty, another starting pitcher and reliever getting packaged together. 3 of those? Am I missing one at this point? But that's that's good. Not to be rude to the Cardinals fans, but I get pretty nerdy about baseball. Reliever John King was in my book. Thomas Sagasi and Tekoa Roby, I don't have full scouting reports on.
That's okay.
I hope they're studs. I hope we look back in a couple years and we talk about how nasty those guys are. Speaking of nasty, Trev. Well, let's I know I'm going to break up the sheet a little bit, but it's because we're talking Cardinals. Let's do Jordan Hicks now. Jordan Hicks, took him in the trade draft. Who did you get points for? Did you have Scherzer? Was that Rosie?
I had Giolito.
Giolito, that's right.
Wrong LA.
I got on the board. Jordan Hicks gets traded. Makes a ton of sense. Everything I just said about Chris Stratton, except with the potential to be special. Like, Jordan Hicks, I think sometimes, I kind of said this with Joe Kelly, like, we almost get bored with guys, and the way Velo's out there, like, Jordan Hicks can throw as hard as anyone who's ever played this baseball game. And he's coming up. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. The Blue Jays are the ones that acquire him. They give up their number 7 prospect, Sem Robertsy, maybe. And Hicks has been good recently. Going back to the front office thing I keep saying, like, if you're in a front office and you believe in your organization and you're buying, this is the guy you want to buy. This could be your 8th inning. This could be your sneaky 9th inning guy, especially Jordan Romano just goes on the IL. Blue Jays acquire a guy with the most arm talent in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and if you're a hitter, and he, like you mentioned, he had a tough start to the year, but the last couple of months he's been really, really good. So you kind of bank on that. I always say this about the reliever position. It's so fluid, dude. Like, you can have a guy be horrible for 2 months.
Yes.
And you want him nobody wants him on the mound. And then you put him in a few low leverage situations. He figures some things out. And then all of a sudden he's thrust back into a high leverage role and no one can hit him. It's just the way of the world with relievers. So that's kind of what has happened this year with Hicks. He has a decent track record. And obviously, like you said, the talent is there. And as a hitter, when you're going up to face a guy and say it's, crucial spot in the game, high leverage spot, you got some runners on, he's not exactly the guy you want to see on the mound. Like, other guys you can game plan for, and you can say, all right, well, he's going to do this to me, he's going to do that to me. Jordan Hicks, you know what you're going to get, and it's just difficult. Like, he's effectively wild, I would say that, and not a fun at bat. So you're not going to go up there with a ton of confidence. You might be able to sneak in some, create some out of nowhere because that's who you are as a big league hitter, but it's not a fun at bat. And if he gets going, like you're saying, then yes, he's a high leverage guy at worst, and at best, yeah, he can end up closing games out for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, when he originally came up, it was kind of funny that he wasn't he didn't have as many strikeouts as you'd think. Like, he was still striking dudes out, but it wasn't like, wow, this guy throws harder than everyone. He's got crazy strikeout numbers. This year he does, and the FIP, if you're into that thing, likes him a lot because he has been striking out more hitters. And, the thing that we've been circling up on that, honestly, Cardinals fans, we'd ask you more than we know. The Cardinals defense has rated out poorly this year. So, has
been brutal.
And I wonder how much has that affected Jordan Hicks. Maybe it hasn't been a lot. Maybe it has. But you're so right with relievers that I think that's something that the nerds have right. Sample size there matters or doesn't matter. I guess I don't know how I'm phrasing it. Jordan Hicks could go Jordan Hicks could go to Toronto and have a 7 ERA and get lit up, and it could kind of just be shrug. He could go over and have a 20 appearance scoreless streak. The life of a reliever is A, ridiculous gig, and B, I don't know. This guy's got all the arm talent in the world that if he gets hot, we're talking about upcoming free agency, someone will roll out the bag for this guy and put him as their 9th or 8th inning guy for the next 4 years.
It's so funny because, forever relievers were just not really taken seriously, and you had your closer and that was about it. And then there was a time where it's relievers maybe got overvalued, or at least probably maybe valued correctly.
Yeah,
that was around 2000, 16, 17, when these relievers were getting these deals all of a sudden. And it wasn't just the back end guys. It was hey bro, if you had strikeout numbers and you missed bats, you were going to get paid. I love my guy Anthony Swarzak got his deal in that time. Swizzle sticks, love him. Lottie Dottie all day. I think when it comes to trade deadline, we've seen that the relievers are more valuable than even starters. They get a better return than starters just because of how important they are, man. It's just really, it's why the guys that are consistent, that can consistently get the job done. Right. Edwin Diaz comes to mind right away. Guys like that they demand big contracts now because people are starting to understand just how volatile the position is. And if you can be good at that position and be consistent, you're worth so much money. Shortening games, and if you have a lead and you got a couple guys in the back that you trust that are going to go out there and mow guys down, how good is that? How great of a feeling is that? As a fan, as a teammate, you got a guy that you're just sick, dude. Game's over. It means something, man.
Yeah, and I would love to know the honest equation in a front office, because I want to go back to Jordan Montgomery, who I just oozed about, and I believe in that guy and I like him. If Jordan Montgomery goes over to Texas, and let's say he has a tough 10 starts, he has a 5.4 ERA, he gets knocked around a little bit, he might not end up starting a playoff game. Jordan Hicks, unless things go horribly wrong, which I don't think they even can with his arm talent, that guy is going to be in your playoff games. That guy is, whether it's the 5th inning or the 9th inning, that guy is so talented that he's going to get thrust into the goal, right? We've baseball 162. Sometimes it feels like we get so far away from the goal, but if you get an impact reliever, it's the same thing with starting pitcher. We don't know what Lance Lynn is going to be. Now, if you trade for a Snell or someone who's lights out, yes, but you have to pay for that. That getting an impact reliever could be a lot more impactful than that guy that you're just getting to eat innings.
I agree. Thinking about the Rangers and them going all in. Do you know what it cost them to go all in?
What's that, Trev?
They're 14th, they're 11th, and their third prospect. People, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. How are you not seeing this and being can't my team go all in? Can't we do that? Do you even know your 14th best prospect in the Yankees organization? Probably not. And you shouldn't. That's okay if you don't. I'm just saying, to go all in, to get Max Scherzer, and obviously you have to pay some salary, and you can do that. Max Scherzer, Jordan Montgomery, two guys who you could say those are top of the rotation guys. and then a reliever as well. It was 3 prospects, your 3rd, your 11th, and your 14th. Bro. Oh, man. Maybe I'd be a horrible GM. I might just be like the worst GM or the best. I don't think there's anyone in between. I would give up, like, there'd be maybe a few guys who were untouchable in my minor league system. But even then, if I needed someone at the big league level, I will go get it.
Trev, I don't want to defend you being an awful general manager, but I will say there is a football team that one of your friends is the quarterback for that for years in the National Football League, they said, you can't trade away all your first-round picks. That's how you build a football team. Guess what they did? They traded away their first-round picks for NFL players. They won a Super Bowl. So, like, I don't know.
What happened?
There's a chance you'd be a dog. Yeah, exactly. There's a chance, if you, me, and BBD became the front office, that we'd have an electric season. We'd probably have 2 dog shit seasons after that. But no, man, you're right. Like the quote unquote prospect capital going out for what came in, it's a little shocking. I think.
You know what else I would do?
Okay.
Let's just talk about
Here we go.
what we would do as a front office.
I
would hype my prospects up so much. Yeah. All my StatCast, my TrackMans at my minor league parks, I'm just gonna turn the dial up just a little bit, just a little bit. Oh man, this guy. Yeah, I don't know, 106. I'm not really sure. He's electric. Do you want him,
man? We found him throwing coconuts in the DR, and now he pumps 108.
And that's another thing. Okay.
By the way,
quickly before we move on,
if you think that's a weird reference, Bartolo Colon used to throw coconuts. That's how he built up his arm strength.
It's not a weird thing to say. I would get as much international signing money as possible.
Yes, dude.
Like, I would trade for that. I would like your international signing money, please. And I would just run it. Cubans, veteran free agents, couple of young, fast guys. That's it. That's how I run my team. It's easy.
This shit is easy for me.
I would set up a base in Cuba and just be like, listen, come play for Papa Plouffe.
God, picturing that place. Nice baseball field. Some mojitos flying around.
Yeah. Sign 3 kids a year and see what happens.
Every day you call up one kid and you have 3 mojitos with them. Find out who they really are. Okay, enough daydreaming out of me. What other trades do we have? I mean, I think the final one, we mentioned it, it's our guy. Taylor Hearn gets flipped again for Nicky Lopez.
Does he get a ring if the Braves win the World Series?
Yikes, man.
Hey,
did he report to Atlanta? Did he get in a game?
Gotten one.
Oh, then he
gets a ring.
Yeah.
He gets a ring. He helped the cause. By the way, Texas and Atlanta. Taylor Hearn's got like a 33% chance to get a ring.
Didn't think about that.
Well, 34% if the Royals turn it around.
Get hot.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know.
It is a funny line on his baseball reference.
That's tough.
He's a left-handed bat. He offers speed, the ability to get on base. So, a good bench piece depth for them. I'm talking about Nicky Lopez going to the Braves. The Royals, on the other hand, I think this is great for Taylor Hearn because sometimes when you're on a team like the Royals, you're given a little bit more chances at the big league level to, sink your claws in and really, really get established. I've said many times, I don't know if I would have gotten as much run with a winning team as I did with the Twins. And I was able to finally sink my claws into a starting job and a career because of it. So when you're in the big leagues, it's always a good opportunity, but sometimes those the lesser teams will let you fail a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm interested. Nicky Lopez, I'll be honest, Royals fans, and let me know in the comments. Seems like the perfect role guy. he stole 22 bases in 2021 with 1 caught stealing. He has a 604 OPS this year, but a 1.1 WAR. So it feels like this guy can play a little defense and this guy can run a little bit. That yeah, man, that's who you add come the deadline. Adeiny Echeverria comes to mind.
Where the heck is he going to play, though? I mean, they don't need
anything.
Anyone,
they don't
anywhere.
need anything.
But great to have just in case, I guess you pinch run at the end of a game for who?
Who knows? Does Arcia have speed at this point? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it almost feels like, I've watched enough baseball to know Nicky Lopez is the guy that catches the final out of the World Series, and that becomes the trivia question. You remember those 23
They ran
Braves?
for Austin Riley at the end of the game. He probably scores the winning run, and then ground ball to him.
He opens up a bar in fucking Buckhead. We're there calling the games. Whoa! Trev, I guess to close this part of the episode off, or no, excuse me. I skipped a big one. Grichuk and Cron.
Oh, you did. You skipped that one.
That's why we Cron pod, dude. That's why we Cron pod, bruh. CJ Cron and Randal Grichuk, 2 hitters, dude.
Yes.
They go from the Rockies to the Halos. Randal Grichuk has been awesome this season. Flat out awesome. And so has CJ Cron. That we knew the Halos, they said we weren't selling Ohtani. Bong. Now they've gone out and they've got your guy, Lucas Giolito. By the way, they traded for Eddie Escobar and Malibu Mike before all of this. Randal Grichuk has an 861 OPS this year. Yo. And CJ Cron has been an established power hitter in this league now. I kind of going back to 2014, depending how you butter knife it, that the Halos, Big Doyle Brunson pod today, the chips are in.
Yeah, it's interesting. So first of all, I didn't know Randal Grichuk was on a deal like he's on. So there you go. Okay,
Yep.
boy. Why do you call him that? Why do you call him that? Fuck Randal Grichuk again. No offense.
He has the most home runs against the New York Yankees in the past 5 years, and he's been on the Rockies for 2 of those years.
He just hits homers against your Yankees. Sounds like a man of my ilk.
When he was on Toronto, he was Bonds. He was righty Bonds.
We brought him on to Talkin' Yanks when he was on.
That's how much he killed us.
He was killing us, and we just needed to talk to him about it on that.
Nice
show.
Dude. Nice. Dude.
I really liked him.
I like that. Do you know that our Ian Happ has 7 homers against Adam Wainwright or something like that?
Yeah, that's his guy.
Just saw that. Ouch.
I
love this move. I love the Angels they're doing everything they can. I mean, Taylor Ward gets hit in the face by Alek Manoah. So, this move makes all the more sense. Obviously, Grichuk will probably slot into left field for him. And then Cron, I'm assuming, will just play first base right away.
Has Cron at first, Moustakas at third, Grichuk they have penciled into center right now. Imperfect system, but
Mike Trout will come back
until Trouty comes back. Moniak's been great, so
Moniak he's been excellent. Yeah, it's more depth, continuing to make up for injuries. This is all stuff that happens in July and August that you got to deal with, and the Angels are doing it from outside the organization, which is great, and trying to get better in every way possible. But even them what was their series? This is another one of those things. They lost 2 or 3 to the Blue Jays.
They almost got swept.
All these teams, Rangers get all these players. They get swept by the Padres. Almost got swept by the Blue Jays, the Angels. Here they are. It's really, I don't mean to bring this up while we're talking about them, but it's really funny to me that kind of happened to all the teams that were adding. It was like, shit, we need it made them an emphasis on them adding even more, I guess I would say, with the Dodgers doing it, then the Angels, then the Rangers. Pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's I opened the show with it. If Hunter Renfroe doesn't get those big country arms on a ball in the 10th inning, I think we'd be laughing at the Angels a little bit, but one game means so much more in these 2.5 weeks. It's a beautiful thing. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens in that AL West, man, because the Angels, God, to be in that locker room right now, adding guys. We kept Ohtani. We're playing better baseball. I know they lost this series, but leading up to that put them in position to not sell. They're 5 games back of the Rangers. Like, everything we've said about the Rangers having this electric season and now they're buying more and how cool is it to be a Rangers fan? A bad week and the Halos are 2.5 games out. Like, if this West gets full-blown messy, sign me up, because haven't even mentioned the Mariners yet, and they're a half game back of the Halos. Like, the AL West and the AL East this year have a chance to be some of the more special. I would have to actually look into it because I don't want to speak in full hyperbole in the moment, but you might have 4 teams going for it in the AL West legitimately, and you might have 5 in the AL East. Like, that's tough, dude.
Your Yankees are going for it now?
They thought they were.
You don't sit there and judge
ever thought
if
they
you need to win
Oh.
games. What are we doing there, people?
Trev, do not, man.
He just got back from the IL. You're going to sit him again?
Trev,
I don't know
be careful.
What's going
Careful,
on
bro.
here, bro? Should I interview Boone tomorrow?
Don't let the tiger out of the cage, man. I just put him in. Like, he was out last night, and I don't know. Hey, I hope we've been asking and begging the Rockies to trade, and they did. So I guess good job, Rockies.
We've got a couple guys they could.
Yeah, I mean, Profar is out there. I know Justin Lawrence. There were some rumors there. Diaz.
I like Grichuk and Cron. Both were drafted by the Angels. That's nice. Reunion deadline continues.
Look at that.
Grichuk was taking 1 spot ahead of Trout. Is that right?
Yeah, they had both those picks.
That's not important.
24-25.
Know what I think the other fun fact is? I think Grichuk and Kelsey Wingert went to high school together.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then Kelsey was calling the game, so she says bye to Randal Grichuk.
Oh, so wait, the Rockies have given everyone to the Angels.
Yeah.
Malibu Mike,
Yeah.
Grichuk, Cron, just 3 hot boys going over to the Angels, huh?
Hey, man, it's one of those things that I don't want to over speculate on, but Jordan Hicks going to Toronto, they also just traded for Genesis Cabrera. And I think I'm saying that right, or I just sounded really douchey.
That one's a little fake news because he was DFA'd and they kind of just acclaimed him. But yes,
still,
and they've linked up before.
These teams, I don't know, like having a good relationship, GM to GM. You know, as a kid who grew up playing fantasy baseball, you have clip it. I don't know. I think you have the people you trade with, and think about how obnoxious we get about teams not trading. That if the Rockies,
so you think there's some like GMs out there like we don't F with this dude.
Yes,
I don't vibe with this guy, so I'm never trading with him.
1,000%.
That's a bet. Honestly,
and there's guys
if
that
you're
just
telling
it's
me
never
that
worked out
happens
between the two of them.
If that happens truly between general managers, I think it's hilarious. And I think that the whole fucking Ivy League, it's all about numbers and analytics, is a facade then. Because if you can't look past your relationship with someone to do business with them, you shouldn't be doing business, bro.
Well, I think it could be that, and I think that's a little dramatic, but I think it could more so be like there's a GM that just always asks for way too much, and you're like, I'm not even bothering with this dude. Like this,
like that guy in the fantasy league.
Like every time I've negotiated with him, it's been non-starters and.
Oh, dude, I'm not taking Darren Waller for Kelsey. Like, stop offering that.
I like Darren Waller a lot. What else you throwing in though, playa? What else you throwing in?
Nasty.
Hey, people have said that I now look like Travis Kelce. He's hot.
Yeah.
Good looking dude. And Devin Booker, I've been getting that a lot lately. Ooh. There's like a picture of him on hanging with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And the side pro is pretty good.
Okay.
I need like I like that. But these guys are like younger and like I need to like up my shit a little bit. I'm on vacation right now, so like I got like sun lines, like I'm getting beat up here.
Scruff going.
Like we need to get you to the point that they think it's cool that you look like them. Right now it's cool for you that you look like them. They need it to be cool.
Like they need to start saying that to people, tell them they look
like. Ask me if I trade lives with them.
Like I need
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You love your family.
I wouldn't. I would not.
You love your family. You're the best family man in the game.
I am. Thank you. Wait till they see what we do. People don't even know what we're doing Tuesday and Wednesday.
You wouldn't want to get
Actually, I don't even know what we're doing Tuesday and Wednesday, but I think after that.
One day in D-Book's body and just be as nice as anyone from the planet from 3?
Oh, you'd like to try it out, but...
Well, I mean, don't you think he'd like to get in the box and know what it's like to go second deck at Yankee Stadium?
I had a joke run through my head that I'm not going to say, but yes, I think he would like that. I bet Devin Booker could go second deck at Yankee Stadium.
Wait, don't think Kendall Jenner ever looked at me?
I know Kendall Jenner's looked at you.
When I was like a runner and I was just running through the hood and these girls were driving.
I miss your running times. What happened?
Runner Trev.
I didn't like it, man. I literally ran my ass off. I didn't like it.
You used to FaceTime and you used to run, and now you don't do either.
I need to get back in the gym, I'll tell you that much. Fitbod.
I think, I guess closing thoughts. Trev, yeah, I guess we should lay this out for the people. We have a cool thing going on tomorrow. We think, knock on wood, that's going to tee us up to be live on YouTube for the trade deadline.
We're going live?
I think so. That's what we did last week.
Otherwise, it'll be...
I've been live in forever.
Worst case, it'll be like an episode that comes out very shortly after. But
yeah.
Ideally, we're live.
So I knock on wood, I hope we're live. Deadline's at 6. Hopefully we're live at like 4:30 or something like that. We'll see what's going on. We're wrestling a lot. We're going to do our best.
Jimmy's talked about what the thing is on stuff before.
Trev, I unfortunately do like to give you kudos when I think it's deserved. You recently, and you weren't saying this just to do it because that's not who you are. You thought this deadline was going to be juicy, and it's already been juicier than like the bare minimum. Like we didn't think Max Scherzer, like there was nothing that said that had to happen. That's already happened, and we haven't even come up to deadline Crunch day time. Yet.
And I think it goes both ways. I think that was a compliment. I'm not sure, but thanks if it was. Appreciate that. It could go both ways. Like juicy doesn't mean that everyone gets traded. Like juicy to me is the Cubs deciding to keep Bellinger and Stroman. Juicy to me is the Padres getting hot and being like, you know what, we'll keep Snell and Hader. Like that's juicy to me. I hope that Snell and Hader are still there. I want to see the Padres go for it. Where are they at? Did you sweep the Rangers? They're still back. I have the standings up right here. Hold on. So wild card, they are 5 games back. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
I think they're closer every time I look at the standings. They're not.
Yeah, man.
5 games back in the wild card, and they are 8 games back of the division. Maybe they should trade these guys. Oh my goodness, dude.
Hey, man, you wondered if I was complimenting you, and then you put on that display, so I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to think about that, man. Where are the Cubs at? 4 games back of the division. Love that for them. In the wild card, they are 3.5.
Let's talk a little ball. Ball Talk is brought to you by Blue Moon. I'll be honest. You could go check it out on Talkin' Yanks last night. Poppy Gordo had himself a nice little Sunday. I said, you know what? The Yankees are playing a night game. I'm going to have a nice New York City Italian meal. I met up with a couple fellas. I had a little, it wasn't penny alla vodka, but it was a nice vodka sauce, a little sausage in there. And I had a Blue Moon, and it was delightful. And then I got ready for the Yankees, and then they went down 7-0 in the first inning. So you know what I did, Trevor?
Break more blue moons.
I had another blue moon. And you can enjoy Blue Moon at your home. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Find out your Blue Moon delivery options. Get it right to your front door. What is better than that? Maybe the Valencia orange peel. Check
or the coriander.
Oh, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Blue Moon. Blue Moon in baseball. It was literally brewed in a baseball stadium, people. Get yourself a Blue Moon. Trev, you kind of hopped into it, and you hit a couple of the keynotes there. Padres have found themselves on a little bit of a heater. Like you said, when you check out actual wild card standings, it's still you're playing with fire. Like if you accidentally drop a couple games, you're going to put yourself in a bad position. I think the two storyline teams, and let me know if I guess if there's the Angels, but we've already talked about them. I think the Padres are a storyline because it seems like they have somewhat played, at least they've played themselves mentally into we're not selling. And the Chicago Cubbies,
maybe we don't know that with them. The Padres are still an enigma. Like
it's true.
Yes, they just swept the Rangers, but again, they have a front office and they have the standings as well.
Right.
They're looking at these standings, being like, man, we got to jump a bunch of teams. We really got to get hot. The teams that we have to jump are very good. They're already making moves. They're a team that you hope they don't. I want them to go for it, as I think like they're a team that could get on a run and do things and be special. Like Musgrove, I think, has had 9 quality starts in a row. Like we know what Snell's done. Gary Sanchez is like the best to ever do it again.
Yeah.
Gotta love that for Gary. All he needed was a little freaking authentic Mexican street tacos, bro. Get him that and maybe a breakfast burrito.
Poppy.
San Diego's got great Mexican food. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Miss that. Miss California. They could sell. Today. We could be talking about this right now. This episode comes out, then all of a sudden, bam, Josh Hader's gone. Blake Snell traded along with Gary Sanchez. They have a decision to make and they have to make it quickly. Now, I don't know if it's a viable option for them to stand pat. I think they just lost. Well, they were saying that Hassan Kim's day to day, but I don't know if you saw the collision at home. Not a collision, but he fucked his shoulder up sliding into home. That would be a big blow to them. Standing pat to me doesn't make sense, right? Like you either have to add or you have to sell. I don't know where you're at with that.
I don't know, man, because the other team I mentioned, the Chicago Cubs, like the vibes are as high as they come right now. They've been winning a ton of baseball games. If the Cubs lose tonight and the Padres win tonight, they're separated by a half game. So, like, you know, the energies feel different. If I'm the Padres, I don't know, dude. I hate I don't do this to be sports talk show. If I'm the Padres, I think I am standing pat. Like, I don't know if the dudes in the clubhouse can't do it, and there's a lot to like, man. They've got a plus 63 run differential. Mm-hmm. That's better than Milwaukee, Miami, San Francisco. Those are your 3 wild card teams right now. Like, I think there's a lot in San Diego that I guess my final answer would be, and this is me being, you know, I'm such an alpha, you can't sell. Like, everything we talked about with prospect capital, like nothing's guaranteed with prospects. To be where the Padres are right now, and unless it's like a mega deal, like if you're trading Soto and Hader and Snell and you're like filling the farm and like, hey, this sucked, because that's what I just complimented the Mets for. Like, they paid to get Ronald Acuna Jr.'s little brother. Like, if you're replenishing the whole farm, you better go that route. Because if you're not, then screw it. Like, let's go. Let's ride. Let's make a memory. And good on the Padres for doing just enough to be in that position. But I don't know, dude. They have a bad series, and it's almost over.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you have to go get like give up your farm system, your prospect capital, whatever. You don't have to make a big splash, but like, have you looked at their bench? Like, do you know who's on their bench? Like, you won't, even if you go look. I mean, there are some guys there. I mean, Matt Carpenter, but there's some other guys who I think if you were to add and you're the Padres, it would be something like that. Other teams are kind of already going after these fringe type players. Like, honestly, like a Nicky Lopez, like guy like that to have as an insurance depth piece on your bench would be really nice for the Padres, but he's with the Braves now, a team that understands the importance of that. Like I said, if Ha-Seong Kim is down for an extended period of time or somebody else in that infield goes down, like what they have to replace, in my opinion, and I think Padres fans will agree with me here, is that's not enough to climb like they have to climb. Like, you need somebody that can fill in that's either on par or could possibly even give you a lift. I don't know if they have that on the bench right now.
Hey, I don't know if we turn it into an actual draft or something, but man, oh man, if there is maybe the team in baseball that rival teams would say I don't want to see in the playoffs, I think it's the San Diego Padres. They're first in starting pitcher ERA.
Yep. And
go look at the top of that lineup. You think you want to see that in a 3-game set? You're out of your mind. So if this team finds the sauce, it changes the chemistry of the National League and the whole season.
Maybe they could do stuff around the edges, man. It would just make them so much better. But again, like we just talked about, they need to do stuff on the edges, but they're like on the edge of.
They are already on the edge.
Even come back from where you're at. It's they have to go on a run. Everyone has to stay healthy. And dang, I wish they would just improve some of the bench stuff. And even, I don't know, some sort of depth starter that you need.
Trev, you're not wrong, man. I
Jack Flaherty added to the freaking Polaroid gang.
Don't.
That clubhouse.
Him and Honeywell back at it. Trev,
why would Honeywell and Jack Flaherty be linked together?
I don't know.
They're my friends.
Honeywell's name makes me laugh. Yeah, you know Honeywell.
Let me ask you this: for the rest of this episode, we're not burning. We're not going through series.
I don't think so.
So all that prep work I did to talk about these series just gone. Yeah. It's right here though.
I'll let you burn. You want to burn?
No, you're the burner. If you're not going to burn, it's fine. We could talk a little bit about some teams, I guess we could say, unless you just want to get to the second half of the show.
Trev, we make some jokes. Malibu Mike, Eddie Escobar, those guys in Padre uniform right now would be massive.
Exactly. Those are the type of moves I'm talking about with the Padres. Reds are interesting. The Reds have kind of like, they took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. Had some really good games happen there. And you look around their infield, I was just checking it out. McLean's playing
India to the IL.
Yeah, and McLean's playing second. Ellie's at short. They have Encarnacion Strand at third and Steer at first, right? Or I might have those mixed up, but a very athletic team in that infield for them, dude. And now they're back on top of the Central after they get 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. And then there was a big series for the Brew Crew, who got swept by the Braves, and the Brewers hit for the Brewers. How many runs did they score? 18 runs? They scored 18 runs in the 3 games, 7, 5, 6. Typically, if the Brewers score more than 4 runs, they're going to win the game. But the problem is, who you facing? The freaking Atlanta Braves, who are just sickos, bro. Yeah. They're the best team in baseball. There's no doubt about it, man. And look at the guys. Like from game 1, I know it's 10-7, but the next game they put up 11. We have the star performers on our sheet here. It's Marcelo Zuna, it's Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna Jr., Eddie Rosario, and Austin Riley. When you're able to put 5 dudes in that who have had multiple hits, you just know. This offense is just ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. So the Braves are just, they're the most sure bet in baseball right now. And I don't even think it's close. Like, is there another team on that tier right now?
No, I mean Tampa was for a little bit. Texas was for a little bit.
Tampa's had a horrible July.
But they're
Texas'
not.
starting pitching has been really bad since like June 1st, which they're just trying to figure out.
Teams can join them at the party. Houston, I know, some people probably don't want to hear it, but Jordan and
they're
Altuve
really good.
are back. Like they can get to Braves level, but right now dude. I mean, like Marcell Ozuna in the bottom half of that lineup, but the teams that are struggling, like where would he hit with the Brewers? Third? And they just throw him on the bottom half and they say, hey, if you give us a day, we'll take it. Like they're a sicko org, and I still think they're going to do something at this deadline because they're starting pitching to be had, and right now their rotation is listed as Morton, Strider, Chirinos, and Elder. So, like, I think the Braves are very much in play for a starting pitcher.
Matt Olson, well, Fried just had a rehab start. I think it's fine. I think he's coming back. Like he just finished his rehab. Matt Olson, 35 homers, 88 ribbies. Hey, 6-6 game in the 8th on Sunday. Oh man, the Brewers got a chance. No, I'll hit a 2-run homer. We'll win 8-6. Last 35 games. He's hitting 320 with a 1.1. Every 7.9 at bats, he hits a homer. So
I don't know if I've talked about
every
it
other game
this show, but I like Matt Olson.
Yeah.
Does he just not look like how a first baseman's supposed to look?
He's, as far as how handsome he is,
just like the lefty swing and like
stature.
Just everything he's about is like
tall, limber, flexible.
If the aliens came down and got together with ChatGPT and they made a first baseman, it would be Matt Olson.
I don't like that reference at all. Don't like it.
Where are you at with the alien stuff? You want to do that quick or no?
It's clear that we've known for a long time that
right.
Chances are we're not alone in this universe because it's infinite, and every single star you see in the sky has the potential to have life around it. So that's fun to think about.
Yeah.
And we can only see a fraction of stars. So clearly, I think we're not alone. But then for them to be here and us capture bodies out of UFOs that aren't human, that was said in Congress, and we just kind of forgot about it because Shohei hit a few homers. What do we do?
Hey, it's cool that there's aliens here, I guess, but look at what Shohei's doing. Found one.
Or, I don't know, we could just go off on this whole thing. I don't want to talk about it right now, though.
We'd love to see a pick.
Another
Giants, Red Sox was a big series.
Yeah. One final thing about Matt Olson. If people think I'm being a little dramatic, the reasons why I'm really into Matt Olson, he has bowled on his Baseball Reference 3 times coming into this season. He's led the league in games played. 162, 60 in the 2020 season, 162 last year, and now he's got 3 bolds on his page this season: home runs, RBI, and slugging. That's all I'm looking for, man.
Does that put a little lead in your pencil?
Does more than that.
Hey,
who's climbing the rooftop this time of night? Get out of my daughter's bedroom. What were you saying about Giants, Red Sox?
You need to have some kids. You need to have some kids.
Will I stop those jokes? Probably, right?
Yeah, you will. I also think it's weird when people are like, "Oh man, my daughter's going to be a problem." Like, what do you like? Why would you say that about your daughter?
Hey, dude? If I'm being honest, I'm probably going to be that guy. Like, my daughter is going to be a problem, dude.
Don't just say like my daughter's pretty or like I have a beautiful little girl. You don't say like, "Oh man, all these guys are going to want to hook up with my daughter." That's weird.
You don't say that.
That's what you're implying.
It is a little bit. It's a little bit.
So don't say that if you're a dad.
Do you ever
I need to have like a dad show.
Do you ever climb through a girl's window?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite the rush. Climbed through a guy's window too once. We got into a fist fight.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about? Giant Sox?
I mean, these are series that I think are important to at least go over a little bit.
Gabe Kapler.
You know, the Giants are fighting to stay in, you know, the wild card. Right now they have a 1-game lead on Milwaukee and Miami in the National League wild card. And, you know, like this is a series they could have been swept, but you got JD Davis, first pitch homer against Kenley, which is awesome. You have extras, I think, is when Jock hit his walk-off. That was like in the 11th inning. The 10th inning was, you know, you pitch around some stuff, 0-0 in those 2 innings, or those half innings for those teams. Then Jock gets it done. I think Boston really has been going as of late. Where are they at in the wild card? So I got to look that
Boston is 2.5 back of Toronto.
2.5 back. They're playing a lot better ball. We talked about them quite a bit, I think, on last show. What are they going to do? The Giants seem to be like they're going to stand pat. Could they add all these things? Like there's so many teams that are so dang close, and there's only so many people to trade for. So some of these teams aren't going to make trades. They're not going to be willing to give what these teams want. And sometimes that could be good for a clubhouse when you're just like, hey, man, we got the guys that we need, and this is all, like, fuck it. But those 2 teams, I mean, there's a really hard-fought series out there. And a crucial, I guess my point is, in this crucial time period right before the trade deadline, like a really good series taking place that really does kind of like, you know, like if the Giants or whoever or the Red Sox got swept, like it kind of changes the plans. You know, 2 out of 3 for the Giants is great. You know, going on a West Coast swing, taking the first game and then losing the next 2, you know, that's kind of tough for the Red Sox, but they're in a good position. I'm interested to see what these 2 teams are doing, and we have to mention Tristan Casas again. I believe he's hit a homer in like 7 homers in 12 days or something like that. I like his swing a lot, dude. It looks like a more controlled Joey Gallo swing.
Yeah, and he's 6'7", dude. He's a massive.
He looks
human
like Joey Gallo with bat control,
with painted nails. Like he's
He has painted nails.
He's a dude. Really? He's like a new age guy.
Like that. Dallas posted a good side by side of him and Ohtani swings. At like, I see the comp. I see the comp.
I don't know if I'm in on painted nails. No offense if you do paint your nails. I think Drake paints his nails.
And you're in on him.
Well, I think rappers can do a lot of things that like normal people can't do. But here I am wearing a tie-dye pink shirt. So what am I supposed? Who cares? Do what you want.
Can I tell you something that's sneaky cool? The fact that Drake is walking out to his concert with, I mean, baseball players and athletes in general. Like the fact that he's kind of a sports loser is kind of cool.
Yeah. He knows sports and he knows the internet really well.
Yeah.
He gets involved in kind of in all good ways. Rare flops.
I think definitely into sports. I went to the Morgan Wallen show and he introduced his band and they had the Chicago Bulls opening song go on as they were being introduced. So that was interesting. But yeah, he's super into baseball as well. I like it. Dude, all musicians want to be athletes and all athletes want to be musicians. That's just it goes hand in hand. It really does.
I think the other biggest thing that I want to scratch, I don't know if you could see it. I got a little heated because I think an important note to San Francisco and Boston is just momentum. With this whole trade deadline and everything that's going on, that final extra innings game, one team is going to walk away with their tail between their legs a little bit. And it ends up being Boston on that night, and they'll go to Seattle and play 3 big games for those 2 teams. And the other thing where I got mad about momentum is not playing Aaron Judge when you need anything, and he is your team, and what are we doing? The team that I want to talk about that I mentioned in passing before is the Chicago Cubbies, who, a la the Padres, fought off selling rumors. They've come out. They said Cody will not be traded for. Stroman will not be traded for. There's a lot to like about this team. I think Talkin baseball fans have heard me do a dance with this team because the run differential has been good. Their starting pitching has been good. Their hitting has been good. There's a lot to like about this team. They just reeled off, 7 in a row, 8 in a row? They lose the final game to St. Louis, but they win 3 out of 4 after winning 8 in a row. And the Cubs are now going to be either standing pat or buying. I don't know, but I'm happy for the city of Chicago because all you want is hope. I don't know what if it means because I'm not bought into this Cubs team yet.
Well, this was a hell of a series. Like starts with like the Ian Happ stuff. Did we talk about that on Friday or did we not?
We brushed it. We didn't really because we were covering the trades. But yeah, that was a hot start.
Yeah, hot start. Ian Happ, hits Wilson Contreras in the head. He has to leave the game. Michaelis says, "Hey, I don't like that. I'm going to defend my catcher's honor by throwing at you. I'm going to miss the first time though, and then I'm going to throw at you again and act like it wasn't on purpose." And it's like, man, come on with that. Like it's funny because I kind of want to get into this a little bit. Okay. I talked about it with Chris Rose, but the Cardinals have a former pitcher named Brad Thompson that's on their broadcast crew. And he was defending it, saying the players got to police their game themselves. And he did it the right way. It's like, well, no, he didn't because you don't get 2 chances, bro. If this is something that you're adamant about, that you got to police the game, you get 1 chance to send your message. That's it. You don't get 2 chances. That's the game, okay? And number 2, why is it always the pitchers that say, we got to police the game? You don't got to step in the fucking batter's box, bro. You get to hold the weapon and then choose who polices the game. Get out of here with that. Don't police me. Let me do what I want to do. If you want to police me, you know what you can do? Mano y mano. If you really want to police the game and you're a big, bad, tough guy, then put the ball down on the ground, put your glove down on the ground, walk up to a guy and say, I'm going to police the game. But for you to take a ball and say, I'm going to police you because your backswing's too long. I'm going to police you. But the policing is you just throwing the ball at me and there's 0 repercussions for you because you don't have to get in the box. I'm over it. I'm over it, bro. Because you know what that's going to lead to? So, yeah, you're going to hit somebody. Great. And then you might get ejected, and that might be the only thing that happens to you. But then guess what's going to happen? A position player on your team is going to get hit. And we're good with that? If you're such a tough guy that you need to police, why don't you get in the box and then let the other pitcher hit you? No one would ever sign up for that. And the policing would probably be gone if that was the way things worked. But it's not the way things work. So pitchers want to get on their high horse, say, oh, we got to police the game ourselves. Get out of here. Get out of here, bro. Trying to hit me with the ball. I didn't even fucking do anything.
Shia LaBeouf standing gif.
I'm sorry. It makes me mad, man, because I've been hit on purpose and cost me a lot of money and I didn't even do anything. So that's the consequence, bro. Like, you think you're being tough and you think you're like being this important part of baseball. You're not. It's foolish. It's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm not going to.
Trev, there's a couple great points there. One, funny guy Jake. There's some parallels you could make from that statement to society in the police. I'm not willing to go there, and I don't want to go there.
Yeah, I don't go there.
I think there's some funny jokes that could have been made there. Two, the number one thing you hit on the head there, boy, oh boy, I'm picturing Max Scherzer putting his glove in the ball down on the mound and saying, like, hey, it's time to dance. If a pitcher did that to a hitter, that would be the coolest thing in the world.
I respect it, bro. You know what a hitter would probably do? Like, no, I don't want to fight. What?
I'm good.
Not really.
Just, please don't hit me with that baseball. Yeah, it's kind of it's an unfair one-way policing.
It really is.
Like what are hitters supposed to do? If you ground out to short, just spear the pitcher. There's really throw your bat at the pitcher.
That's happened.
I know. And I don't know how we ended up here, but I'm happy for Cubs fans. How about Mike fucking Talkman?
Yes. I mean,
to win the game.
To win the game. That shit is nuts, dude.
That Trevor Plouffe rant was brought to you by Shady Rays. Go get yourself a pair of Shady Rays. I've been wearing mine all episode. I wore them all day yesterday. I'm wearing them all day today.
You look great.
I wear them all day, and it's the biggest flex I've ever had in my life because people are like, "Oh, what sunglasses are those?" They're they're mine. If you want that Jake Storielli signature by your ear hole, you can get it at Shady Rays. And with their lost and broken replacement guarantee, your Shady Rays pair lasts forever. So go get yourself a couple pairs because with code Talkin, you'll get 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized sunglasses. There's a link in the description. Shady Rays, we're in the hearth of summer. Trev, you mentioned how you like when Olivia likes you, like thinks you're cool.
Yeah.
Jessica was so excited to bring my sunglasses down to her family trip to Key West / to visit Tyler Glasnow. And that was a nice moment for me. So, thank you, Shady Rays.
Nice.
Thank you, Tyler Glasnow.
Thanks, Shady Rays.
You want to do the second half of the show? Like, where are you at, Pop? I know we got to get you to Chris Rose.
I'm just looking to make sure we didn't kind of go over any that I wanted to talk about. Mariners, I think, took 2 or 3 from Arizona. Arizona's in a tailspin. They've had a really bad July. I'm about to see them with my Twins, who I'm going to give a "what is you doing, baby" to. What is you doing?
Yes.
Baby. Twins, L5. You're a half game up, right?
L5? They got swept by the Royals?
The Royals, yes. I'm going to be talking about Bobby Witt Jr. in a little bit. But to the Royals.
They just got swept by the Yankees.
Cleveland's a half game back, bro. Like Twins, like we got to do something here. Like this is like they're a team. It's like, man, we need a right-handed bat bad. We got a surplus of left-handed outfielders. Like let's make a play here. Let's do something. The back of the bullpen's been hurt. They need some reinforcements there. It's decision time for them, man. I'm going to be seeing them in a couple of days as I'm traveling to Minnesota after this, but you can't get swept by the Royals, bro. You can't.
Man, after
but they did.
CJ Cron and Randal Grichuk would have looked pretty good in those Twins unis, Trev.
Something, Poppy. Something got to happen, man, because you got it. The division's right there for you, man. You just got to score some runs. You just got to go out there and do it. You know, you can't be giving up late leads like this. Like the starting pitching has been too good.
Trev,
I know Bailey Ober got hit around a little bit.
You can give up late leads when you have a standout performance like you do.
Well, I'm gonna change mine up.
Okay, hot route.
I'm gonna talk about him later in the show.
Okay.
So we're not gonna talk about my guy, even though he had a couple of different days you could talk about.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Jose Abreu, who went 3 for 3 with a homer.
Okay.
And 3 ribbies on Saturday. That's the day. I wouldn't even go into that series.
No.
That was Rays Houston.
Yeah.
So that was the game that Houston just freaking went off and they scored 17 runs. But it's good to have Jose Abreu. Like, if he's doing what he needs to do, how big is that for the Houston Astros to get him going? Oh shit, I had his page up.
Oh shit.
So I wanted to give it to him. Like, I think he's been trending in the right direction, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to get up his splits here. But a big day for them and a big win for them because the Rays took the other 2 games and they're in that heated race with the Rangers. So go Jose Abreu, 3 for 3 with the homer. Nice.
Dude, if he clicks in and Jordan is back and Altuve is back.
Okay, I knew it was something. Last 14 days, 809 OPS. Last 7 days, 971. Scary. Scary for teams if he gets going.
Man. Yeah. Houston. We'll see what else happens at the trade deadline, and there's obviously 2 months of baseball. But, Trev, I was answering honestly, like the team you believe in the AL, right now I would take Houston. And I know they necessarily...
The Orioles are tough, too.
I know they necessarily haven't shown that on paper, but I guess I am factoring in Yordan and Altuve. And if Jose Abreu is Jose Abreu, my goodness. Like... Okay.
If they get Justin Verlander.
Might as well. Go do it. Grab Pete Alonso on the way, too. I think I'm going to go a little off the map with my standout, Trev. Per usual, there's a ton of guys. You know, you mentioned everyone on the Braves. they could have been a standout performer. You know how much I love Christopher Morel. Gary Sanchez, are you kidding me? I'm going to go Josh Palacios.
Yeah, you are.
Of your Pittsburgh Pirates. Playoff P gets called up on the 28th, recalled from the minors. And on Sunday the 30th, he goes 3 for 5 with a walk-off homer. And Trev, you want the icing on the cake? It was his birthday. So
love that.
Some things are bigger than sports. Josh Palacios gets called up. Hey, you're back in the show. How's your 3-hit day? How's your walk-off? And happy birthday, big guy. That's pretty nice. And we love the Palacios bros.
100%. 100%. That's a great day. There's always a little extra juice on your birthday when you're playing on your birthday. You feel it. Like something special is going to happen. It's that confidence you have for no reason.
Who's isn't there a birthday like homer guy in the majors? Is it Harper? Like someone homers on their birthday.
I've hit a few, but not like something that you'd say, hey, you're the birthday homer guy. I think I have like 2 or 3, maybe 4.
If it's 4, Trev, you're the birthday homer guy.
Maybe 2. I was always a Jackie Robinson Day guy. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
Jackie Robinson Day. Yeah, I love that 42.
You love the greats. Speaking of greats, Trev. Oh boy, I haven't even gotten here yet. But it looks like some guys were pretty fuego.
Is there anybody else we want to talk about here? A little bit like Grayson Rodriguez. Shout out Zach Wheeler, been the most reliable starting pitcher for the Phillies. Hot. Braxton Garrett, hot. Luis Castillo, hot. All right, let's get into it.
They're all hot, and so are these guys.
Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Wow. Oh, wow. And Fuego for the series. Marcelo Zuna, how about him? Atlanta's DH, 6 for 11, 2 doubles, 4 homers in those 6 hits, 6 RBIs, 7 runs for a 2.4 OPS in the 3-game set against Milwaukee. That's what you want. Yeah, I'll skip this guy because I'm talking about him soon. And then, hey, my pen keeps falling. Milwaukee's catcher, not Wilson Contreras, but William Contreras, 6 for 14, 3 doubles, a homer, 5 ribbies in the series against ATL. He has a 1.2 F4 in the month of July, second amongst all catchers in the big leagues behind
Big
his brother Wilson. Yeah. Who is out because Ian Happ has a long backswing. It's okay. Happens.
Series
police the game.
Don't police me. 1 week. The game's from July 24th through July 30th. How about Brandon Lau from Tampa Bay, 9 for 19, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 5 runs, a hit by pitch, stolen base for a 1.4. Lars Nootbaar, outfitter for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're selling 9 for 18. A double, 3 homers, 6 RBIs, 6 runs, 7 walks. Gotta love that. Hunter Renfroe. Fuck, I love this guy. Angels outfielder, 11 for 23, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 5 ribbies. His 2-run homer in the 10th inning of Sunday's game was the Angels' first hit with a runner in scoring position in this series. I had that stat up and I didn't even mention it. They were hitless with runners in scoring position until that. They've been 0 for 27, and then Hunter Renfroe says, I got it, Big Daddy.
So
I'm from Mississippi. My name's not even Hunter. What is it again?
Dustin
Hunter Renfroe.
Dusty Renfroe.
Don't.
All right. For the 2 weeks, and some pretty fun ones here, guys. 7/17 through through 7:30. Justin Verlander, heard of him?
Yeah.
3 games started, 3-0, 19 and a third innings pitched, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 walks, 18 Ks. That's a .93 ERA. He became the 49th player to reach 250 wins, so snaps for him. And the first pitcher to do it since CC Sabathia, my friend of the New York Yankees, did it on June 19th, 2019. He's 4-1 with a 1.69. Nice ERA in 6 starts this month. So JV is going off right now.
Look at this next
How about
name.
Another St. Louis starter, Steven Matz? 3 games started. He's 2-0, 17 innings pitched, 12 hits, 1 earned run, 14 Ks for a .53. Is he going to be on the move? We'll see. And you know I love my utility infielders. John Birdie, heard of him? Miami Marlins, check him out. He went 16 for 33 in these 2 weeks, 485 average, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 RBIs, 8 runs, 2 walks, 3 stolen bases for a 1.1 OPS. His 485 average is the highest average over the last 2 weeks in Major League Baseball, taking a little page out of Luis Urias's book. And that, my friends, is Susan Fuego.
How about Steven Matz?
He gone.
Man, if someone's willing to take a chance, that's an interesting one. Trev, the IL, fans of the show know it shakes me up a little bit. But
yeah, I'll be right back. You got it.
But this is really important because this could affect your team's deadline. I mentioned Jordan Romano went on the IL. Toronto, they went out and got Jordan Hicks. How about it? Taylor Ward hit in the face.
Yes.
Angels, they go out and they trade for Grichuk.
They 60-dayed him quick.
How connected was all of that? I don't know, but it may be connected. And I mentioned Jonathan India on the way by. What does that change for the Reds? He's on the IL. AK, Alex Kirilloff had been really good for Trev's Twins. He's on the IL. Oh, thank God Trev's away. Oh, no, he's back. Evan Longoria to the IL.
Yeah, I just texted him. I said, are you going to be there in Minnesota? Because I'm here with you, Pop.
God. Oh. I hate that. Hey, how about Nathan Eovaldi? You think that had a factor in them getting a Monty or Scherzer? Yep. Jonah Heim to the IL. We hate that. DeScalfani for San Francisco. Does that put them more in play for a starting pitcher? Wow, what a funky time of the season. Returning from the IL, Kyle Freeland for my Rocks. That's a guy, would love to see him on a different team. Not to be rude to our Rockies fans.
That's a little rude to your Rockies fans.
It's extremely rude, but they might even say the same thing at this point.
They already have Kelsey Winger. How much do you need?
I know what you need, Trev? A little Jorge Polanco, switch hitting in that Twins lineup. He's back. Oh,
love that.
Here's a guy we mentioned in passing. Aaron Judge had 2 really good games back.
And then what?
It's unreal, dude.
How many times you guys strike out yesterday?
19, I believe it was a Baltimore Oriole record. And Aaron Judge just watched from the bench.
And you and Gibby.
To be fair, he's a strikeout guy, but he watched. They didn't play him.
Gibby's fucking giving David Cohn beer bongs.
You watched that video, Trev?
I did.
It's so good.
Gibby saw your text and said, make sure Jake knows that he didn't have that on his life bingo card either. He was pretty stoked about it.
I hate Gibby's better at me at every aspect of life.
Yeah, he's nicer than you.
Normally I can find a couple loopholes. Gibby's just got me beat.
He's iron. Awesome. He's iron. He's
ironclad.
He's airtight, bro. You can't mess with Gibby because
you'd lose.
He's himself. There's no secrets to Gibby. He's just a nice husband and father who just happens to be 6'5" and can twirl a little bit, bro.
He can snap off a little cut fastball. Nick Madrigal came back, made a nice play at third base for the Cubbies. I don't know if you saw that highlight, but there's a short king for you. Clev's back. Does he get traded? Brandon Crawford for the Giants. I mean, that guy's like the heart of the team. Avisail Garcia for the Fish.
Not back yet, but I read one guy who's rehabbing coming back soon. Brandon Woodruff.
Woody.
Telling me Brewers fans aren't going to think that'll matter?
What are the Brewers gonna do? My gosh, let's go, guys.
They're adding Brandon Woodruff.
Read they want one more bat.
Carlos Santana. Can we do some MF and awards?
Awards.
Okay.
In the Hamptons, giving out awards.
I love this place, by the way. Holy
Yeah, you're
shnikes,
about
I'm
it.
coming back here. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
get
this
a place
one
out there.
I don't necessarily have a great name for it. I was trying to workshop some things. I'm going to call it the Crybaby Award.
Okay. Ooh.
And this goes out to all the dads out there, and maybe even to you, Jake. A certain thing happens when you become a parent, or I'll speak from a father's standpoint specifically because that's what I know. As soon as you become a parent, there is like a sense of selflessness that comes over you. You immediately know now that your life is worth less than another person's life.
Right.
Okay. It just happens. Like you would die for someone. Like if you have a wife, like you already feel that way, most likely.
Right.
But when you have a kid, you definitely feel it that way. You're like, I would give my life for this person. And other things start to happen as well. You notice yourself like this. For me, I would start watching movies, and if something sad happened or like something like with a family member happened, whether it was like a joyous moment between father and son or daughter and father, or like a death in the family, like in these movies, like I started to like cry, like tear up in movies. I never had done that. And then all of a sudden you're a father, and that opens up this emotional side to you. It just happens, okay? There's something in you that changes. Gives you a perspective on life, if you will, like on life and death. So I saw something this weekend, and it happened against my twins. And it happened with one of my new best friends.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt Jr. He hits a walk-off grand slam against my twins. Tough to swallow because I need my twins to be winning. So, I get to possibly call the game when they're clinching and I get to be down there. I want to spray champagne. I want to do that. So, this is for me a little bit too, guys, right? He hits a walk-off grand slam against them. Bobby and I have become close now as we're Instagram friends.
Yes.
Well, Ryan Atkinson on his Twitter brought his daughter to the game, and he tweeted this out. And he said, all the way from Georgia to see her favorite player hit a walk-off grand slam. It literally brought her to tears. Record be damned. How can you not be romantic about baseball? And if you're looking for this tweet, Bobby Witt Jr. has quote tweeted it with a blue heart, and the videos on it are incredible. This girl has a backwards KC hat on. She's got her Witt Jr. jersey on. Like the dad said, they went all the way from Georgia to see these games, and boom, he hits a walk-off grand slam, and she's going nuts. And then there's another video, and she's literally crying, man. Like she's so happy for Bobby Witt Jr. and her Royals that she's in tears. And I just know as a dad, like I would have been bawling at a baseball game too if my daughter was invested in something like that, and then her favorite player freaking came through. So snaps to Bobby Witt, number one, for being you, because you seem like you get it, bro, which I like. I like guys that get it. And then snaps for Ryan, the dad, for bringing the daughter out to the ball game, and snaps for the daughter. Don't know her name, don't need to have her name, but
need that.
She's a stud. I love this whole situation, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, number one, good on Bobby Witt for acknowledging this tweet and kind of shining a little bit of light on this special moment. Hopefully also Bobby, like send him some gear, bro. Your social team can figure it out. You got it. I just love everything about it. And I wanted to make that it's okay to show some emotion. And once you have a kid, you're going to really feel it. So that's my Crybaby Award. Shout out all the people that were part of it. It's one of my favorite things about sports is it garners this type of reaction and emotion.
I commented on that video. That girl's got a job waiting at John Boy Media with an asterisk if she's qualified and she has a good interview and we're hiring. But yeah, man, I mean that that passion for baseball. I don't know, man. Like that. Dude, that was a fucking nothing game in Kansas City. Their season's been over for 2 months. And the house was packed, and the place went nuts. And, dude, by the way, you mentioned the Bobby Witt, Trey Turner, like, kind of player comp, and you put that seed in my head. 1, I loved it. 2, I think Bobby Witt is about to go nuts, and he did the next game. Dude, that was 102 on his fists, and he turned it around for a walk-off grand slam. I don't know where his stock is at. I think people expected him to come out of the gates a little hotter. Just, big-time prospect, all of that. Kansas City's been bad. I think that guy's about to go. And, man, that's forever, Trev. That's forever. And I don't know the fatherhood part yet, but to put it in baseball terms, like, we talk about trading years on contracts. Those people they got more years on their contract, theirs are more valuable. So, great stuff out of you.
Hey, thanks.
I'm just going to cop out, and give an award to the people. Because kind of piggybacking off that, sports being powerful, baseball being powerful, I think we broke the attendance record this weekend.
Love that.
And I don't know, man. I think it's even from 5 years ago when we were kind of just getting all this off the ground, and it was, we do Yankee stuff and, blah, blah, blah. Baseball was kind of embarrassing for a couple years. Like, in the 20-teens, it was kind of like, oh, you like baseball? Like, This deadline has already been awesome, and I think it's just getting started. Attendance is up. Views are up. We have a company that was kind of piggybacked off of baseball. So I want to give some love for the people that tune into this for 2 hours, 3 times a week or whatever we're doing. And you're going to games. The fact that Kansas City was packed for that game, that's kind of nuts, man. That's kind of nuts. That team has been out of it for a little bit, but it's a great baseball town. And it's cool seeing the other baseball towns kick into gear. Baltimore's been dead for a little bit. Cincy's been dead for a little bit. Seeing these cities kick into gear for their baseball team and seeing the rule changes helped a little bit. I think baseball's also been on an upward climb that, like, dude, baseball's in an awesome spot. And I'm excited to see where we're at this time tomorrow and even, a couple hours after that, because I think baseball's killing it, man. And I guess I thank the people for being a part of it.
I like that. I thought about giving that as my award. I'm going to snap to you.
Wow.
I thought about congratulating a bevy of people, not just the fans themselves, but I was even going to give Rob Manfred a little bit of a shout.
He got that extension.
You know me, Jake. Look,
I know you.
I don't think anybody's above reproach. Like, if you do some stupid shit, like, you should be called out for it. But same token, if you do some things that are good, you gotta, it's okay. You could say that these rule changes have been for the better, and whether it's really his doing or not, like, Rob Manfred's going to get credit for this, even though, like, other people had to sign off on it. He's going to get credit for it. And I think you have to give him credit. The changes have been awesome for baseball. It's made it much more enjoyable. So I think people are noticing that. Baseball rules the summer, bro. Like, I love that aspect about it.
Baseball rules the summer. Give that to our fucking shirts, people. Kenny? Baseball rules the summer.
Oh, I do have something to talk about our shirt people with. We just put out literally a fire Baltimore Orioles shirt. It has fire on it. It says chaos on it with some of their players, right?
Yeah.
Guess who it didn't have?
Taryn Varvra.
Or Gibby.
Oh, that's...
You got to have one of those two guys on there. I mean, come on.
You need the guys.
Like, Gibby's hair matches the rest of the shirt.
Gibby should be the fucking mascot. God, I love Gibby. Hey, Trev. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Can't wait for you to put me in a headlock. High tea.
By the way, guys, I'm on vacation doing this. I love you people.
He's
I
different.
love you people. My wife's in a bathing suit out here on the beach, and here I am doing this because I love it.
God.
I love it. You know how hot my wife is.
Hey, Teddy, Isla, why don't you guys run down and get some ice cream?
Yeah, I would love that. Go to the kids club.
Jake sucks.
Unreal. Another thing you'll learn about your kids. Sometimes, bro, they be blocking.
Get in the way.
Dad's gonna crack mommy's back real quick.
You can see what we got going on here. This is 2 beds. Oh, boy.